Hi everyone. The CBH Board is undertaking a review of our cooperative's governance. The objective of the review is to ensure the Board continues to have the highest standards of governance, that the cooperative remains strong and can continue to deliver value to members for the long term. In the first phase of this review, the Board gathered insights on the governance practices of 11 best-in-class cooperative peers from around the world. This was done to ensure that any governance improvements we might make are aligned with contemporary best practice while being fit for purpose for CBH. I will now take you through some of the suggested improvements that the Board supports and that we would like your feedback on in this survey. First, let's talk about the election process for member directors. 9 out of 11 peers we reviewed use a panel to assess member director candidates prior to elections. The Board is supportive of the introduction of an assessment panel. The concept of a candidate assessment panel is to provide members with more factual information when they are making choices about who to vote for in director elections. It also encourages candidates who match the skills required on the Board to nominate for a Board position. The CBH Board has completed a skills matrix mapping the current skills and gaps. Externally, this will be used to transparently show the members where there are skills gaps. The matrix will take into account hard skills like financial understanding and soft skills like the ability to work in a team, as well as the candidate's knowledge of the grain industry and farm management. Members standing for election can choose not to go through the assessment panel. However, incumbent directors will be required to go through the process. The panel will not recommend or endorse any candidates, but will provide members with information about how candidates and their skills meet the skills required on the CBH Board. We would like your feedback on the concept of an assessment panel and the possible makeup of the panel. For example, should it be fully independent or should it have some CBH Board representatives? Another topic we have looked at is electioneering. Electioneering is the way in which candidates campaign before an election, and CBH currently has no restrictions on electioneering. The CBH Board are supportive of reducing the amount of electioneering candidates do to ensure a more professional election process and to limit the reputational damage that sometimes can occur to individuals running for election and the damage caused to the CBH brand. We understand that some growers do not want to stand in CBH elections due to the sometimes rough and tumble nature of our elections, and we want to allow every member to feel comfortable to stand for election. Candidates currently use a variety of techniques such as directly contacting members via letters, phone calls, email and text, media interviews and advertising in the rural press. 9 out of 11 of the cooperative peers we reviewed imposed some restriction on electioneering to run a more professional and inclusive process. We would like your feedback on which elements of electioneering you would like to stay the same and which elements you would like to reduce. I now want to discuss the potential introduction of term and tenure limits for our directors. Currently, CBH does not have a limit on the number of terms a director can serve. 8 out of the 11 cooperative peers we reviewed have term limits for their board, with the most consistent limit being 3 terms of 3 years. Term limits can assist with board skills renewal and enable new directors to bring fresh perspectives onto the board. The board is supportive of introducing a maximum of 3 terms of 3 years each, with an additional term for the chair, and also the ability for a director to be able to stand for election for 1 additional term under exceptional circumstances. For example, a lack of board experience due to high director turnover. We are keen to get your feedback on whether you support these concepts. Let's now focus on board size, composition of the board and the role of a director. Our research shows that many cooperative peers have smaller boards than CBH has at present. The average board size of the peers reviewed was 9.6 directors, compared with our board size of 12. Best practice research also reveals that smaller groups are generally more agile and efficient in their decision making. Smaller boards also increase personal involvement and they increase personal accountability. CBH directors, although elected, must act in the best interest of all growers and the cooperative as a whole, and not just advocate for the district they are elected from. The CBH Board supports reducing the board size from 12 to 10. We would like to retain the geographical spread of member directors to maintain local knowledge in the boardroom and also introduce some statewide directors to ensure we can tap into a wider pool of potential candidates to stand for election. We would like your feedback on the overall reduction in size, and also if you support a model consisting of 1 district elected member director per district, 5 in total, 2 statewide elected member directors, and the 3 independent directors, 10 directors in total. We'd also like members' feedback on whether you would like to vote in every district-based election or whether you would prefer to just vote your district. In closing, I would like to thank the members that have engaged in this process. We had great discussion with many of you at the grower meetings, and I'm looking forward to your survey feedback. The cooperative has continued to evolve over the last 87 years to serve the growers' needs. Like farming, CBH is an intergenerational business, and it is important we strive for best practice in all areas, including our governance, to ensure future success. Thank you.